The screen is black for a moment, the silence charged with anticipation. Then, with a soft but sharp electronic hum, the video begins. The host, a figure of calm authority, is seated not in a flashy studio, but in what looks like a serious, functional home office. The lighting is deliberate, casting sharp, clean shadows. It feels like a briefing room more than a living room. A single, tasteful monitor glows softly in the background, displaying a live, minimalist financial chart. The host leans forward, elbows resting on a solid desk, hands clasped. Their eyes lock with the camera lens with an intensity that is immediate and arresting. There's no playful music, no quick cuts, just a profound, weighted silence before they speak. The atmosphere is one of sober significance. If you are watching this video at this exact moment, you need to understand something. What you are about to hear is not part of the usual cycle. It is not a rumor unearthed from the depths of an online forum, not a speculative article passed around in private groups, and certainly not hopeful interpretation of vague statements. This is different. This is structural, institutional news that has just entered the public domain, and it carries implications that demand your complete and undivided attention. Welcome to Dinar Today. My name is your name, channel name, and for years, we have navigated a landscape often defined by uncertainty, by waiting, by parsing the subtle signals from a distant financial system. Today, that landscape has undergone a seismic shift. We are breaking down the confirmed, verified report that Chase Bank, one of the largest and most systemically important financial institutions in the United States, has officially activated its Iraqi Dinar exchange services. And they have done so under two specific, critical, and unprecedented conditions, with no waiting periods, and with no preset limits. Let me repeat that for absolute clarity, because the words matter. No waiting. No limits. This service is reported to be live, operational, and accessible as of right now. Before we dissect the monumental implications of this development, I want you to pause this video for just 5 seconds. Seriously, press pause, take a full breath, let the sheer weight of that statement settle into your understanding. For years in some cases, for well over a decade, many of you have been holders of the Iraqi dinar. You have followed economic reports from Baghdad, tracked central bank announcements, weathered the skepticism of friends and family who could not see the vision you held. You have endured the pervasive question, the one that lingers in the quiet moments. When will this actually become real? Today, that question meets a formidable answer in the form of a concrete action by a pillar of the global banking system. This is not a hypothetical future event. This is a present tense operational reality from Morgan Chase. This moment represents a pivotal inflection point in a very long journey. The activation of a major bank's exchange protocol is not a trivial administrative update. It is a signal flare of immense magnitude, illuminating a path that has been dark for a very long time. The shot cuts swiftly to a dynamic, data-driven animation. A sleek, simplified 3D model of the Chase Bank logo, the iconic blue octagon, materializes in the center of the screen. From it, pulsating waves of light expand outward. These waves transform into flowing streams of data, binary code, stock tickers, and currency symbols IQD, USD. The animation is cool, corporate, and high-tech, emphasizing systemic integration and digital infrastructure. The sound design is subtle, a low, futuristic thrum, and the clean digital clicks of transactions processing. They must ensure every step is watertight against the immense regulatory scrutiny that follows a major bank's every move. All of this represents a massive, non-trivial investment of time, capital, and institutional focus. Banks like Chase do not make these investments on a whim. They do not allocate these resources for a currency they believe will see negligible volume or be a passing fad. This is basic, unimpeachable business logic. They anticipate a return. They are preparing for significant, sustained transactional activity. When Chase Bank makes this move, it is because their internal forecasts, their market analysis, their risk assessments informed by data we do not have access to have concluded that providing this service is not only viable but strategically advantageous. This is why this announcement transcends mere news. It is a direct reflection of institutional foresight and preparation for a forthcoming reality. Return to the host. The lighting has shifted slightly, becoming even more focused. The host's demeanor is that of an analyst breaking down a complex contract. They hold up to fingers, emphasizing each point with deliberate clarity. Let's deconstruct the two key phrases that change everything: no waiting and no limits. These are not marketing slogans. They are operational descriptors that dismantle the old paradigms. No waiting signifies that the preparatory phase is conclusively over. The infrastructure we just discussed, the trained staff, the updated systems, the compliance frameworks is not being built. It is built, tested, and lived. There is no queue to join, no vague coming soon status, no conditional approval process that stretches into an uncertain future. The mechanism is in a state of readiness. For you, the holder, this means the barrier between you and a legitimate, bank-facilitated exchange has been removed. The when has been answered with now. This erases a primary source of the anxiety that has characterized this asset class, the uncertainty of access. No limits is the companion pillar that unlocks true potential. In standard banking practice, especially for exotic or less liquid currencies, institutions impose caps. These can be daily limits, per transaction limits, or aggregate customer limits. They are control mechanisms for risk and liquidity management. Chase's reported removal of these caps is a declaration of operational confidence and liquidity preparedness. It means your exchange is not constrained by an arbitrary bank rule designed for a different era. Your transaction size can be dictated by your holdings and your strategic choice, not by a teller's manual or a software restriction. This combination, immediate access and scalable capacity, creates a fundamentally new environment. It transforms the dinar from a speculative holding into a liquid asset with a clear, institutional exit channel. This is the point where theory collides with practice. The host's expression softens marginally, showing empathy. They lean back slightly, creating a moment of reflective space. The background subtly blurs, focusing all attention on their face and their words, which are measured and calm. I need to address the human element in this moment. Watching this, some of you are experiencing a powerful surge of emotion. Adrenaline, validation, a sense of vindication after a long, patient hold. That is not only natural, it is a testament to your conviction. Feel that. Acknowledge it. But then, I need you to perform the most important skill in finance: compartmentalization. You must separate that powerful emotion from the clinical, rational process of decision-making. Excitement is the spark, strategy is the engine. Unbridled excitement leads to reactive, often suboptimal choices. Excitement filtered through a lens of preparation, knowledge, and clear intent leads to empowered success. So, honor the feeling, but then deliberately shift your mental gear. Channel that energy into focused, deliberate action. The window of opportunity this represents is best navigated with a cool head and a warm heart. Let's pull back the curtain further on how institutions like Chase operate, because this knowledge is power. Major banks have departments dedicated to emerging markets and currency strategy. These are not bloggers or commentators. These are PhD economists, former Treasury officials, and data scientists with access to proprietary information flows and predictive models. Before a single teller was trained, this decision underwent a brutal gauntlet of analysis. Teams assess macroeconomic indicators in Iraq, oil production quotas, budget surpluses or deficits, foreign currency reserve levels at the Central Bank of Iraq, inflation trends, and political stability metrics. They evaluated global demand signals, perhaps tracking inquiry volumes, web traffic related to Dinar, or activity in other financial corridors. They ran stress tests, modeling various exchange rate scenarios and their impact on the bank's balance sheet. They engaged with legal and compliance to map the entire regulatory journey. After this exhaustive process, a business case was built, reviewed by senior management, and approved. The no waiting, no limits announcement is the public-facing result of that months-long, resource-intensive internal journey. What this tells us, with high conviction, is that from Chase's privileged vantage point, exchanging Iraqi dinar is now a viable, sustainable, and worthwhile line of business. They see enough stability in the underlying asset, enough pent-up demand in the market, and enough long-term potential to justify the commitment. This is the strongest possible market signal short of an official revaluation announcement itself. It is the banking equivalent of a groundbreaking ceremony for a major new infrastructure project. It signifies that the blueprints are down, the funding is secured, and construction is beginning. Let's transition from the why to the how. If you are considering engaging with this new channel, your process must be meticulous. First, foundational clarity. Revisit your original why. Why did you acquire Dinar? Was it for a specific financial goal: debt elimination, home purchase, retirement investment, legacy creation? Define what success looks like for you in concrete terms. This clarity is your compass. Every subsequent decision must be checked against it. Are you looking for a complete exit? A partial, phased exchange? Your goals dictate your tactics. Second, the audit. Know your numbers with absolute precision. How much dinar do you physically hold? In what denominations? What was your average cost basis per million? Document this. Then, understand the current market landscape. What is the official CBI rate? What are the spreads being offered by other channels? Establish a baseline. You must know the value of what you hold and the market context you are operating within. Third, direct verification. This is non-negotiable. You must contact Chase Bank through official, verified channels. Do not rely on second-hand information, even from this video. Visit the official Chase website directly by typing chase.com into your browser. Call the number on the back of an actual Chase debit or credit card. Visit a physical branch. Inquire specifically, what is your current process for Iraqi dinar exchange? Ask about documentation requirements, typically the forms of government ID, possibly proof of origin of funds for large amounts. Ask if appointments are required for large transactions. Ask for the current buy, sell spread and how the rate is determined. Write down the answers. Get the name of the representative you speak with. This turns speculation into actionable intelligence. A visual metaphor appears on screen. A classic scale, like the scales of justice, on one side is an hourglass with sand rushing down, labeled fear and euphoria. On the other side are stacked, neat gold bars, labeled confidence strategy. The scale is heavily tipped toward the gold bars. The image holds for a few seconds, implying balance and choice. The critical element now is mastering timing and psychology. The service is active, which means the opportunity exists in the present. But now does not equate to right this second. You have agency. Your timeline should be dictated by your preparedness and your plan, not by external pressure. Beware the twin traps of fear-based and euphoria-based decisions. Fear whispers, if I don't act immediately, the window will close or the rates will crash. Euphoria shouts, this is it. Do everything now. Both are emotional reactions that bypass rational cortex. The optimal state is one of confident, informed action. You are aware of the opportunity. You have verified the mechanics. You are clear on your goals and you execute according to a predefined script you wrote when you were calm and focused. This is how you convert potential into a positive, controlled outcome. The host speaks directly about community, their tone respectful but firm. For many, this has been a communal journey. Online forums, group chats, and conferences have provided support and shared knowledge. This moment is a validation for that entire community. However, crucially, your financial decision must be a sovereign one. Do not let groupthink or the fear of missing out relative to others dictate your moves. Your financial profile, tax situation, risk tolerance, and life goals are unique. Your neighbor's decision to exchange 100% tomorrow has no bearing on what is right for you. Use the community for information and support, but retreat to your own counsel for the final decision. This is your journey, and you are the pilot. Another animation, a stone labeled chase action is dropped into a calm pond. Ripples expand outward, each ring labeled other major banks, regional banks, credit unions, currency kiosks. The animation suggests a spreading, inevitable wave of adoption. We must also consider the contagion effect. In finance, actions by market leaders create precedents. Chase's activation serves as a powerful signal to the rest of the banking and financial services industry. It de-risks the proposition for others. It is highly plausible that we will see other institutions, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, major credit unions, and specialized currency exchanges follow suit in short order. This would create a more competitive landscape, potentially improving exchange rates and convenience for holders. This potential for expanding options is another reason for strategic patience. The first mover provides legitimacy, the followers often provide choice and better terms. Your landscape may improve further in the near term. Now, a mandatory warning about the dark side of such developments: fraud. The moment credible news breaks, scammers activate. You may receive polished emails mimicking Chase's branding, offering priority exchange or special insider rates. You may see sophisticated clone websites. You may be approached by individuals claiming to be approved brokers for the bank. Your defense is simple and absolute. Only engage through the verified channels you initiate yourself. Type the URL. Make the call. Walk into the branch. Never click links in unsolicited emails. Never give personal or financial details over the phone unless you initiated the call to a known number. Never ship currency to anyone. Your physical dinar holdings are now closer than ever to real value. Guard them with corresponding height and security. Transport them securely if you need to move them. This is a time for supreme vigilance. For years, the dinar narrative has been polarized between extreme skepticism and boundless optimism, with a murky middle ground of fact. Chase Bank's action is a powerful data point that cuts through that noise. It doesn't answer every question about future valuation, but it definitively answers one. Has a primary tier Western bank deemed this currency sufficiently legitimate and operational to integrate into its core services? The answer is now yes. This moves the discussion from the abstract realm of if and when to the concrete realm of how and under what terms. It is a legitimizing event of the first order. Paradoxically, now that action is possible, patience remains a strategic virtue. The existence of an exchange channel does not obligate you to use it instantly. Currency values fluctuate. Economic data is released. Geopolitical events unfold. Intelligent patience means monitoring these factors with your goals in mind, ready to act when the alignment is right for you, not when the gate first opens. Some will walk through that gate immediately, mission accomplished. Others will observe the traffic, check the conditions, and proceed at their chosen time. Both are valid strategies if they are chosen, not reactive. We must talk about emotional management. This touches on deep psychological triggers: security, freedom, validation, legacy. The emotional wave is real. Acknowledge it. Then, employ technique. If you feel overwhelmed, impose a mandatory 24-hour cooling-off period before making any final decisions. The service will still be there. Use that time to review your notes, your goals, your numbers. Speak with a trusted, dispassionate confidant or financial advisor. Center yourself. You have waited years. You can afford to be deliberate for one more day to ensure clarity. Let me provide the consolidated framework for your next steps. 1. Verify everything directly with Chase. 2. Re-clarify your personal financial goals for this exchange. 3. Conduct a full audit of your holdings and understand the current rate environment. 4. Prepare all necessary documentation and plan the logistics of your transaction. 5. Make a deliberate decision based on your completed analysis, not emotion. 6. Execute your plan with calm confidence. 7. Manage the aftermath. Have a plan for the received funds and understand the tax implications. This is a 7-step bridge from information to outcome. This is a defining moment within the Iraqi Dinar story. The activation of no wait, no limit exchanges at Chase Bank represents the convergence of long-held anticipation with institutional validation. It is the opening of a door many have watched for a long time. But an open door is an invitation, not a command. How you cross that threshold with panic, with euphoria, or with prepared, purposeful stride will determine the quality of the outcome on the other side. You have exercised profound patience to reach this point. Now, partner that patience with precision. Thank you for watching Dinar today. If this breakdown has provided value in navigating this historic development, please support the channel. Subscribe for continuing clear-eyed analysis. But more importantly, take care of yourself, your family, and your future. Be smart. Be safe. Be strategically ready for what is now, undeniably, ahead.